Good evening. I'm Mauricio Del Castillo,
And I'm Tai Tran.
and this is our project presentation for Chompin, the future of attendance.
And so a quick project overview, what exactly is Chompin? And so Chompin, it's attendance tracking and student engagement platform designed to streamline classroom participation for students at the University of Florida. And so how exactly does it work? So whenever a student walks into a lecture, the professor will present a QR code at the very front of the classroom. The student walks in, scans the code through our app, and then our app would then run this process and then verify the student's location to mark them off as being present in the class. And so why should you use Chompin? And so Chompin is just a tool, is more than just a tool. It provides insights for both teachers and professors, for both professors and students to help them track their classroom engagement and helps them take ownership of their education and then holds them accountable for their future success academically.
So this is our systems architecture that we're basing our whole project on. We have users, client, server, our database, and the Canvas API. So all these services communicate with each other to be able to send information back and forth. We have the user, which will scan the QR code, which will prompt them to the client. The client will then send the user's information to our server, which will verify their attendance. All their information will be saved into our database, and the server will communicate with Canvas API to actually mark them as attended. And finally, the client will send feedback to the user once everything is verified. So now we're going to show you the different routes we have implemented. Perfect. So here we have a professor that's logged in called Jane Doe. As you can see, she has the role of a professor. Here we can verify that she's actually logged in. And we're going to create a classroom called Chompin class. Cool. So Chompin class was created successfully. It has an ID of 5, and as you can see here, the name is Chompin class, and this is the created time for it, and the associated professor that created the class. This classrooms route will list all the classrooms that a professor basically owns. So right here, this professor owns 4 classrooms, and if we refresh it, then this new classroom that we created will be added. Once a classroom is created, you can generate a QR code for that classroom with the given classroom ID. In this case, that classroom ID is 5 for Chompin class. And what that will do is send you a response with the QR code encoded in a base64 version. So that will be the QR image, and then it'll also generate a session ID, which we will use later. So we're going to send this here, and that session ID will copy for later. Now we're going to log out of the professor's account and log into a student's account. Our student is called John Doe. As you can see, John Doe has the role of a student, and what a student will be able to do is mark attendance. So here we will implement our session ID of the current session that we created, and a student's attendance will be marked. And you can see right here that is correct. Finally, we have 2 more routes called test connection, which will test the database connection and return that it is connected successfully, and our register route. Now we're going to move on to our mobile presentation.
And so this here is user interface designs. So these are all wireframes designed in Figma to ultimately show what our app would look like when it's finished development. And so over here, this is the home screen, of course, a welcome page, a whole bunch of like info about the students' upcoming classes. And then this is the attendance screen as well with various facts and just numbers. And this here is a screen that allows the student to scan the QR code to check themselves into the class. And then I will be showcasing the mobile app right after. And yep, here you go. And so, of course, this is the mobile app. So as we've shown earlier, John is a student. And so let's log into John's account. And so, of course, this is the landing page, the home page. It welcomes you. Like, of course, since we're in as John, welcome John Doe. And then one of the first things I'll ask students to do is to check in, or in this case, Chompin. So when they press it opens up a camera. They can scan the QR code from there. They can flip it, snap it, And yeah, that is it for our mobile demo.
So now we're going to be moving on with the presentation. Let's talk about the project progress. So currently we have completed user stories for both students and professors. The ability for students to scan QR code and mark them as attended, and the ability for professors to actually verify that the students were attending and that their QR code is generated, which we showed with our mobile presentation and the routes. Currently, our completed milestones are MVP 1, which consisted of having a working prototype of the primary user loop. Um, this consists of having students being able to scan the QR code and information is sent to the professor and a functional interactive front end. Going forward, we want to finally complete MVP 2, and this includes the ability for students to scan QR codes, and that scanning of the QR code will open their mobile app, as well as a classroom dashboard for both student and professors, and professors' ability to be able to prompt questions to a classroom. So moving to individual responsibilities, the two major responsibilities that I want to focus on moving forward are the maintaining and scaling of our current database, making sure that uh, accuracy and efficiency is top notch. And the other thing I want to focus on is the integration with the Canvas API, making sure everything is smooth and that communication with the Canvas API works correctly so professors have correct information.
And so for me, some of my responsibilities is more front end focused. And so of course, I will make sure that the app and the website is polished and professional. And of course, I'll also be testing the front end on multiple different platforms to make sure it works and maintains consistency. And that was it for our presentation. Thank you for listening.